Welcome back to What She Said Sports. All right. It is the Sunday night live stream. We want to make sure that we see the live stream ourselves because it's the second time we're live. We could be running into the same issue with YouTube, but we're going to check. You see it. That's just weird. Okay. Right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think I see you guys. Okay. I was looking to see if I see me too. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Yeah, I don't see it, but okay. We'll just keep going. All right, everybody. Let me know one if y'all can see me and two if you can hear me. All right. Let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. All right. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Okay. Let me know if you can see me. Hey, Eric Jackson, how you doing? Hey, Val C. Yes, it says you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me too. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Political Lil. Hit the like button on the way in. All right. Make sure. Yes, both. Thank you, Val. All right. All right. All right. Right. So, first I want to give out a congratulations. Then I want to say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers everywhere. I sent out posts earlier today, but I wanted to make sure I say a special happy Father's Day to the dads of the What She Said podcast community. As there are several, many of you, I just want to say salute. I appreciate dads for the ingenuity that they bring and for that ability against all odds to get it done, whatever it takes. So salute to the dads out there in the What She Said podcast community. All right. So I hope y'all had a wonderful Father's Day and I hope y'all had a wonderful Sunday. Okay. All right. So one of our Colorado Buffs got married. So I want to say congratulations to Preston Hodge. I told y'all there were a couple of Buffs headed up the aisle at some point. And Preston and his bride shared their nuptials today on social media. And I love the caption that Preston used. He said, two are better than one. And I'm like, when you're in college, you get ready to leave, you want to go pro, you know, settling down, getting to the next level, you have something to focus on, you have your priorities outlined, and just happy Preston House came back to finish up because people said he's coming back this year because he said he had unfinished business. So congratulations on just getting married and coming back to see you and taking care of unfinished business. So I just wanted to say congratulations there. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Salafi. Thank you so much. Yep, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Thanks. All right. Um, saw Coach Prime, his daughter. They must have went fishing today. Um, Shalimar caught looked like a bass, a big fish. It was a big fish. I'm like, Lake Claire must be well stocked because that was like a really big fish. So you could hear Coach Prime in the background. So it looks like they spent Father's Day together. And then I saw Shiloh posted photos from a high rise in Tampa. And his mom was first under the post talking about her handsome man. I'm like, that is her baby. I'm like, those two, I'm like, they have that connection, right? We see it with Coach Prime and Shedeur and, Shiloh and his mom. And, I left the message, nice to see you, Shiloh. But I was like, Miss Fuller, you're really a good mom, And she's always first under their post, etc. So it was nice to see Shiloh in Tampa. Looks like, he's doing his thing. And I'm assuming he lives in a high rise. I'm assuming that's where he posted from. He's pretty high up. And didn't see Shador today, but, hey, that's good, right? But there's plenty of talk about, this whole trade scenario. Now, I'm just going to just go ahead and ask a question that people keep seeming to, overlook, right? Why would Cleveland even entertain a trade for the absolute best quarterback that they have had on the roster in the last 15 years? Somebody that gives them a shot to the Super Bowl. You can't say It's not possible because Jada Daniels, right? Somebody that elevates you in the same way that Jada Daniels elevated Washington. But in my opinion, Cleveland has what? They have the advantage. Y'all saw the running backs. Y'all know Quinshon Junkins is out here just balling, right? And Cleveland's defense, they secondary, they tough. Denzel Ward, now they all talking about trading Newsome, which is nuts to me, but their their defense is good. And to me, those were the things that were lacking in Washington. And you don't hear Washington trying to trade Jada Daniels. So why on earth would Cleveland even entertain the possibility of trading the best QB1 hands down? Drop it in the chat. Let me know what y'all think, because that's just crazy to me. I'm like, y'all are not thinking while y'all are talking, because who does that, right? Who does that? So it said Cleveland is polarized by race. Yeah, clearly there seems to be an agenda because um, you know, somebody was posting what Kevin Stefanski, all the good things he had to say about Shedeur. I'm like, that's just lip service. As long as Shedeur is excluded from a fair process to compete in the competition that Cleveland said was taking place, even though they have Joe Flacco sharing a locker with Jerry Judy, which means they want Joe Flacco, currently third on the depth chart, to be their starter. So why continue to lose that it's a competition when it's not? And while it was a competition, Shedeur won it. So why not just let him run with the ones and have the same opportunities as the others? So here's the thing. The OC had some good things to say about Shedeur. If he don't have any decision making capability on whether Shedeur gets to practice with the ones, then he can keep that. And Kevin Stefanski looks two-faced because if he's the one that's making a decision with this QB competition and making sure everybody gets reps like they said, that's clearly not happening, right? And I think somebody said, well, he ran with the ones behind closed doors. Stop playing with grown people who have common sense and intellect, okay? We saw everybody run with the ones other than Shedeur Sanders, but he's in a QB competition, right? So here's the thing: is Kevin Stefanski giving us lip service? Is he really not the one making a decision on whether Shedeur practices with the ones or not? Is somebody else pulling the strings we can't see? Perhaps the owner, right? Because they say that's not the GM's responsibility. The GM takes care of the draft and the trades, and what the coach is supposed to be as to who starts in it. But then let's take a peek about how it's going down in Pittsburgh. Does Mike Tomlin have any more? No, none. You think Mike Tomlin wanted Aaron Rodgers? No, he did not. I don't even think the GM wanted Aaron Rodgers. Somebody above their pay grade wanted Aaron Rodgers, and I don't even think it's the ownership. I think Pittsburgh didn't have a choice with Aaron Rodgers the same way Cleveland did not have a choice with Shedeur. So if Mike Tomlin doesn't have any power, does Kevin Stefanski have any real power? Or like Mike Tomlin, is Kevin Stefanski's power perceived? Are they putting it, hanging it on his shoulders, making him the scapegoat? Well, Kevin Stefanski said he was good, but then he not letting him work, practice with the ones. He's excluding him. He's singling him out. So Kevin Stefanski is getting the heat. Guess who's gonna get the heat in Pittsburgh when Aaron Rodgers doesn't do well? Even though it wasn't Mike Tomlin's idea. Mike Tomlin was drafted Shedeur Sanders. Understand that. Until Aaron Rodgers was forced on their path. He would have been right there with who. Had Russ not been pushed out, guess who it was going to be? Russ was going to be QB1 and Shedeur Sanders was going to be QB2. But he's QB1 ready. And see, the problem is, and prove me wrong, the problem is the NFL does not want to admit that Shedeur Sanders is ready. Why? Because how in the hell does a first year starter, QB1 ready, QB get pushed down? I'm sorry, taken off the board and pushed down so late? See, that's the question they don't want to answer. So let me tell you what I think. I think what Kevin Stefanski is saying is lip service. Just like y'all felt like Mike Tomlin was giving y'all lip service about Shedeur after the draft. They in the same situation. Neither one of them made the decision to get the quarterbacks that they have. Understand it. So Kevin Stefanski can keep his lip service, just like we don't need to hear Mike Tomlin tell us why he didn't draft Shedeur, because we don't believe either one of them. They both have perceived power. Both quarterbacks were forced exactly to where they are. I don't believe the trade rumors. It should be. There should not be trade rumors. Who trades their best quarterback? Do you see the Texans traded C.J. Stroud? We even see the Carolina Panthers trying to trade Bryce Young. Do you see Washington trying to trade Jaden Daniels? Hell, I don't see Chicago trying to trade Caleb Williams. You see Tennessee trying to trade Cam? No. But see, they gave Cam a label. They said his personality is intense. Really? So you didn't study up on Cam to know exactly what his personality is. In my opinion, it's not intense. That's just Cam. He just like to talk trash, and he told them that to their face. So now they're saying he's aggressive. He's intense. Well, maybe that's what you want your quarterbacks to be, right? So that tells you that all of these scouts that they send out to these schools are not doing any work. Or the work they're doing, they're turning in their scouting reports and nobody's reading it. People are just making decisions based off of bias, because bias is the only reason, the only justification for why you would even think about trading Shedeur Sanders, and why you would not allow him the same opportunities that you have afforded to the other QBs that you know you want to keep. They don't want to get rid of Dillon. Dillon was going to be their backup. Shedeur is not a backup. So I can't get rid of Dillon, because who the hell going to be my backup? Kenny Pickett? He's the odd man out. But I don't want to get rid of Kenny Pickett because I can't rely on Dillon because he's the backup. So if I send Kenny Pickett, it's who? That opens the Red Sea for Shedeur to become QB1. You know why? When was the last time? What's his name? Flacco played a full season, 2017. See, they don't want to let Pickett go because they know there's nobody else but Shedeur that they can put in there to win games. They know Pickett is not their guy, but they like, we can't let him go because Shedeur gonna get to the front. He is, and I hate to tell him, he probably gonna get there anyway. Dillon is not him. Pickett is not him. Flacco is not him. He's just the best that they got when you're not considering Shedeur. So what they think they're gonna do is rotate all of these quarterbacks and rely on a run heavy game. That's what they're gonna do. And then they're gonna be faced with the questions: why would you let the best QB you have sit on the bench and you just run the ball? Especially if somebody get hurt or it don't work or it's not enough for them to win. Myles Garrett came out and said something nice about Shedeur. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but nobody else is talking about anybody else on the team. Mason Graham was the number 2 pick to Cleveland, and nobody talks about him at all. Not Cleveland media, not the coaches. I don't hear nobody talking about anybody but Shedeur. So they're not going to be able to bury him on the depth chart like they trying to do Milrow. I don't even know why they're trying. It tells you that they think that they have the ability to control what they cannot. You can't stop injuries. You know exactly who Kenny Pickett is. You think you're going to get Dillon and Pickett and Flacco to pass the ball off. And guess what's going to happen with Shedeur just sitting there? That's where the fans come in at. The fans going to want to see what? Shedeur. See, they don't even understand. You didn't just sell 200 and what, $50 million in jerseys to strangers. You sold $250 million in jerseys to Shedeur Sanders fans and some new football fans that now like Shedeur Sanders. That's a lot of damn money to make off of some jerseys. In fact, that's the same amount of money that is reported that each NFL owner gets from TV rights deals. If they each get a check for 250 million, win or lose, and Cleveland already has the 250 after the jersey sales, and they still get a 250 from TV rights deals, and you can get another probably 250 million from selling out for the next 4 years in your brand new stadium that you just got to own. And you gonna trade that? You gonna bench that? I want to see it try. See, if they do, they proven me right. What did I say? Prove me wrong. Show me that the NFL in Cleveland are not playing keep away with the QB1 position with Shedeur Sanders because everything they have done proves me right, excluding him from running with the ones. They say he ran with the ones behind closed doors. Mary Captain said he did not. So they're not even on the same page with the media. Prove me wrong. Because all I see is the NFL continuing the same script from the draft. All I see is Cleveland executing the same script from the draft. And the script is play keep away with the QB1 position for Shedeur Sanders. That's what I see. You let me know what you see. Has there been a black coach and was it a black coach and quarterback control? I don't know. Damon says, I agree. Yeah. It says Michael Jackson spin move. There's only one, two. That's facts. There's only one, two. That's my new motto too, Echo. Thank you for that. Each one, actually. I keep saying Echo. Each one. It says both in the hot seat, Tomlin and Stefanski. Yeah. Stefanski's job is on the line. And honestly, I don't even think he the one calling the shots. And if so, they set him up. And maybe he okay with it because he might want to get the hell out of Cleveland. That's gonna be his exit from Cleveland. I meant black coaches and quarterback Super Bowl combo. Oh, okay, 16, 17 to 18. No. The NBA, yes. The NFL, no. And I took a look at the top three prime time slots, the teams with the most prime time slots. Three is still not Philadelphia. It's Kansas City, Dallas, and the Buffalo Bills. So I was like, So did they choose those three time slots because look at the contracts that these QBs have. Pat Mahomes is 400 million, right? You have Josh Allen, newly minted 330 million, right? And then there's that making 60 mil a year. That's the highest out of anybody. So instead of choosing the time slots that fans would like to see, the Super Bowl winning teams, it appears that they chose the teams whose quarterbacks have the heaviest contracts. Yeah, think about that. It's not unethical, but what it does is it totally disregards the competitiveness of the game and winning. It makes it, oh, it's not about, so winning the Super Bowl is nothing because Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl, but why they not in the have the most primetime games? Travis Hunter, y'all talk about him endlessly, even though he hadn't still signed his contract. We get ready to talk about that. Uh, why they don't have the most primetime slot? I thought they wanted Travis to be the face of the league, or maybe they realize what we realize. When Travis ain't on that field, you ain't gonna see him. You're not gonna see him at all. So I don't know how he gonna be the face of anything. Because he's not gonna be nowhere around. And now that he don't have a contract that's signed, they better hope he come back to work. Because some people think Shamar Stewart is like, I'm out. I'll see y'all next year. Shamar Stewart, first round pick. Travis Hunter, first round pick. Neither one have signed their contracts. In fact, it's still 40 players that have not signed their contracts. 30 of the 40 are in the second round. And the catalyst is supposed to be because the NFL gave The first two picks in the second round, one of which is in the Cleveland Brown and the other one is in Houston. They gave those two guys guaranteed contracts. Carson Schlesinger that plays for Cleveland and another guy that plays for Houston. So, but check this out. The other 30 that's holding out are like, if they get guaranteed contracts, we get guaranteed contracts. But guess what somebody noticed? They said, hold on. The first two players they gave guaranteed contracts are the two teams that's involved in the Deshaun Watson trade, Cleveland and Houston. See, let me tell y'all something. That Cleveland contract for what's his name, Deshaun, who's about to get married. I think he just had his bachelor party. His fiance just had her bachelorette party, so they might have tied the knot this weekend too. Let me tell y'all something about that Deshaun Watson contract. It don't have nothing to do with football. Nobody has 22 civil lawsuits for misconduct, right? And all of the money that they paid out, which is about $35 million, they got back. And they were made to pay a $5 million fine. And the contract's term is 5 years, which means it's $1 million per year. So you get 46 million per year, or technically you get 40 million per year, which is 35 million more than you had on the team when you got in trouble after you asked for a trade. And now in 2025, what's that, 3 years later? After Cleveland said he took a big swing and missed with Deshaun, there are 30 players in the second round holding up the start of the season because the same two teams have given just two random players to the same two teams guaranteed contracts like they gave who? Deshaun Watson. So what it looks like they trying to position is the Deshaun Watson contract wasn't the only one. Yes, it was. And in fact, it was Deshaun Watson's contract that was the catalyst for what? The NFL was just found guilty of collusion with veteran contracts. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray. They wanted the same thing Deshaun Watson got, a fully guaranteed contract. So because they lost that in January, now it's time for the draft. Well, let's just give out two more fully guaranteed contracts, one with each team. And now 30 people are like, oh, heck no, we need that too, because why would they get it? What is so special about the first two picks in the second round? And when did y'all decide to do this? Did you change the standard non-negotiable contract? And it just so happened to be Houston and Cleveland where Deshaun Watson went? It smells like a cover up for the Deshaun Watson contract because it doesn't make sense that after that kind of situation, Deshaun Watson would be paid back everything that he paid out. And his fine is covered by the extra $1 million. And it's not a surprise that he's not playing, even though he can. They would rather, instead of Deshaun Watson play, let me get this $46 million from this insurance policy. It's a cover up. And, I told y'all the other day, the rapper Plies, right? Talked about he went to the spot, and I can't say what he said, but here's basically what he said. They asked him about it. They asked him about the happy ending. He was like, what? Yeah. See, places like this, people know what's going on when they're there, right? They know what they're going there for, right? And if somebody that works at establishments like this gonna ask Plies about it, you don't think that they asked Deshaun Watson and a few other people within the Texas organization about it too? Where Deshaun Watson got the info from? Another player or a coach or higher up or who else was involved? This is clearly a cover up. And what's exposing the cover up is the fact that they got 30 people who like, hell no, I'm not signing this contract because mine is not fully guaranteed and theirs is. I mean, why would you sign it? What's so special about the first two picks in the second round? And they at the same teams. It's giving cover up. And there's a reason why they're trying to cover it up right now. There's a reason. And we just don't know what it is because Deshaun Watson went to Cleveland in 22, right? Why they didn't do this in the 2023 draft? Why they didn't do this in the 2024 draft? Why the 2025 draft? And why the first two picks and they go to Cleveland and Houston after they was just found guilty of collusion because they didn't want to give veterans fully guaranteed contracts, but they want to give them to two rookies in the second round to the same team. It's giving cover up. That meant it was more people involved. That's why Deshaun Watson is not playing. So for the owner to say, Deshaun Watson, we took a big swing and missed. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because I watched them in 2023, and they likely get ready to do in 2025 with Shedeur, Kenny, Dylan, and Flacco the exact same thing they did with Deshaun, PJ Walker, DTR, Flacco, Brickle, and somebody named Mom. They've already been down this road before. Stefanski was the head coach. They're going to do the same thing. And you don't see Shedeur running with the ones because he's probably going to be like DTR. They just going to throw him out there. Well, they want to see him. Just throw him out there. And they think he going to fail, but he probably not. He probably not. And then what they going to do? So to me, it's a bunch of cover up. It's a bunch of lies. It's ridiculous to even talk about a trade with your best quarterback. And it's also ridiculous to exclude your best quarterback in 15 years that can turn around a consistently poor performing team and give them a shot at the playoffs. And you keep him on the bench or don't give him opportunities that could show he's our guy. All I see is cover up after cover up after cover up. Prove me wrong. So let's get back to these contracts, right? 30 players in the second round because the first two players in the second round had fully guaranteed contracts. Now that's the second round. The first round had fully guaranteed contracts. So they're not holding out for this, like, oh, you think Travis holding out because his contract not guaranteed? No, his contract is guaranteed. And he still ain't signed it. He got a $35 million signing bonus. And he still ain't signed it. So what is in his contract? Is it you can't make any endorsements outside of the ball club, or is it I'm not giving you this fully guaranteed contract, all your signing bonus all at once, or perhaps if you get injured, you lose your guarantee. If you get injured twice, you lose your guarantee, or is it perhaps have the right to take away and void any future guarantees with no explanation? I'm gonna go with that. See, they trying to say it's just Shamar Stewart. No. And see, the NFL got over what to the summer to figure this out? Or do they even have that long? Because everybody's gone now, right? Rookies are supposed to be there working out. See, Travis is showing up. Shamar Stewart did. And he's probably not going to. And from what I heard, he like, I see y'all next year. And they're probably going to shortchange him. But they said the same thing happened with Barry Sanders. He didn't sign with whatever team drafted him, and he ended up going somewhere else. Travis hasn't signed. Let's see if he keep going back and working out. Because understand this, Travis can work out on his own. He got all the resources in the world. And guess what? Travis was rich before he got to the NFL. See, if Travis bought a house, whether it's in his name, his wife's names, or if they pull it in the LLC, he already had the money for it. He got an Adidas contract. He was $6 million valuation when he left CU. He has money. He don't even need that NFL contract to buy a $3 million house. So no, he hasn't signed his contract either. They say they know why 30 of them haven't. So what's the NFL gonna do? You gonna guarantee all 30 of these contracts? It's the same situation that they were in with Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. See, that situation was veteran contracts. Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed. The other vets wanted the NFL like hell no. And now they're right back. Like my uncle used to say, she'll be coming around the mountain. When she come, you're just gonna keep going around in the circle until you get it right. Until you get it right. Until you get it right. And they back at the same place they were when they was just found guilty of collusion with veteran contracts. Now they colluding about what? Rookie contracts. You're gonna give two people in the first round fully guaranteed contracts, and then the hell with everybody else. What? You can't do that, or can you? And to me, the NFL is like take it or leave it. Okay, I would like for all 30 to say the hell with it and go do something else. That's what I would like. Because your money not guaranteed, right? Right? So why is their way paved easier for them? Or did they just get the long straw? I need two people going to these two teams to end up with a fully guaranteed contract, and we're going to make it at the beginning of the second round. Why not the first round? Why not the third round? Why the first two in the second? What about number three? Like, excuse me? So let me ask you this. The people that are the first two people in the second round, Carson Schlesinger and somebody else who just so happened magically to go to Cleveland and Houston, the two teams involved in Deshaun Watson's contract and situation. Um, could that have been anybody? Like, could the number 3 and 4 players been slided up to 1 and 2 and they was going to Cleveland regardless? Or did it have to be whatever position Carson Schlesinger plays? Or was it whatever position that the guy for the Texans plays? See, were they sliding by position? Because we know the teams a lot. Whoever was going 1 and 2 in the second round clearly was going to the Browns and to Houston. So why not the number 3 pick or the number 23 pick in the second round? Right? So again, just making more of a mess over and over and over and telling lies and keeping secrets. Oh, Shedeur Stewart has assigned his contract. That came from the Bengals organization today. Shedeur Stewart might be telling the Bengals, see you next year. They reported that. But nobody said anything about Travis. They don't want to let you know that Travis Hunter has not signed his contract. Why? Shedeur Stewart's the first round pick. You want to let me know about that? Why you don't want to let me know about Travis? Lies cover up secrets. That's all it is. Collusion. That's the name of the game. So they're trying to cover up Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed contract after they were found guilty of collusion. And now they're doing it again, but just with the rookies. And now you got 30 rookies just sitting there. And it's 4 other people. And we don't know why the hell they didn't sign out yet. But they don't want to talk about it. It said, remember Deshaun didn't get caught up until he refused to sign an extension. All I know is that man asked for a trade. And after he asked for a trade, they thought they was putting out his and his alone dirty laundry that they already knew about. And then I do believe that they realized, somebody was referring him to this woman, right? And he played for the Texans too. And I bet you don't want him to get trouble. Yeah. So just like Clive walked into a spot and they offered that to him. It's a lot of spies that do that. And a lot of those women that Deshaun Watson reached out to, a lot of them do that. The last one, the number 26, that's still lingering, she talks about her customers and what she offers and do. She said it in the court document. I didn't do anything I didn't want to. So what they did was they forced him to settle the first one, and that opened the floodgates. And they forced him to settle the rest of them. because they probably wasn't gonna pay him at all until he was like, let me show you something. And then they're like, get him the hell out of here and give him his money back so he can shut the hell up. And here we are 3 years later. 30 holdouts in the second round because the first and second person in the second round get fully guaranteed contracts, and they just so happen to go to the same teams involved in a Deshaun Watson contract situation. There are no coincidences, people. See, they need to write a book. If it's time to get fired, he need to write a book. If somebody get screwed out of this, they need to write a book. I don't know which one is better. I think writing a book is actually better than suing, to be honest. Like that book that's supposed to be out with Caleb Williams, the insert about his situation. Yeah, I think it's better. So this is about not giving guaranteed contracts to Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray. NFL doing some snake, right? They didn't know. See, they didn't want to give nobody else a guaranteed contract. See, they messed up when they gave Deshaun Watson a guaranteed contract, but apparently they had to. The question is why? I mean, honestly, why would you give Deshaun Watson a guaranteed contract when he violated what? The National Football League Players Association. But there was not enough evidence for 2 grand juries to convict him. And there was not enough evidence to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. Explain that. This man settled 22 suits because he had to. When they forced him into the first one, the rest of them came running. And they just settled and settled. Notice they won't settle this last one. It's a different lawyer. It's not the same guy. Who was what? The next door neighbor to the Houston Texans owner. That's who handled all of the cases that he settled. The neighbor of the Houston Texans owner. That's how people in the ground, that's how people on the ground in Houston knew, this ain't right. Everybody in Houston knew. It's because he asked for a trade. And they were like, oh, we gonna show you. Because what he was doing, I don't think it was a secret at all. All of the women, most of them were from Houston. Houston might be big, but it ain't that big. Believe me, it's not that big. The people at the top, everybody know the people at the top. People at the middle, everybody know the people at the middle. It's cliquish, everybody know people in the cliques. Just because you don't hang in that clique, don't mean you don't know what's going on with that clique. Because somebody you know is in the clique. You're not in the clique, but somebody you went to school with is, and they coming back and telling you everything. So I don't know what the hell they're gonna do because you got 30 people who haven't signed contracts. Are they gonna show up to camp? Or you gonna give them fully guaranteed contracts? Probably not, because you didn't give Russell Wilson a fully guaranteed contract. You didn't give Lamar Jackson fully guaranteed contract, nor did you give Kyler Murray one. These are big problems here. Like, what the hell is going on here? And the fact that they handled it in this draft, not the 2 drafts after 2022. So the decisions that these people are making, what did I talk about tonight? TV rights, primetime TV slots. Is it a coincidence that the Bills is one team and they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they just gave Josh Allen $330 million with 65% of it guaranteed? And then we have what? Pat Mahomes, 400 some odd million. Dak Prescott, 60 million a year. He the highest paid one if you look at it by the year. Those 3 are the ones with the primetime slots, which means it's not about football. It's about making money off these football players that I just paid. And I got this TV rights deal money. I'm gonna need that. Boy, this would just be nice if this was the one year that don't nobody watch the Cowboys. We know people gonna watch Kansas City, and I don't know, maybe they're gonna watch the Buffalo Bills. But it would just be nice if people just really wanted to see the Philadelphia Eagles and didn't watch any of it until we see the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the Super Bowl. That's why they don't care about getting to the Super Bowl. If I don't care about putting the Super Bowl winning team on to satisfy my fan base so they can come back and watch the Super Bowl winner, then I don't give a damn about who wins or loses because I still get paid. That's what we watching. That's what we watching. So these guys playing their hearts out in college, right? To come to the NFL, and they being told, oh, it's so complicated. Oh, you got to sit on the bench behind a veteran with 2% battery life and lose and lose and lose because there's no way you can come out of college ready because the playbook is so complex. It is not. If that's all they have to learn, it's easier. The NFL is easier because in college, I keep my GPL, which means I'm in class and I got to do work. And even if I physically don't set foot in a classroom, I got to put up online. They audit that on those online classes. And I got to turn in my work. And I got to turn it in on time. And it got to be good. And I got to keep my grades up. To me, college is harder. When I get to the NFL, hell, I just got to go to practice and watch some film. In college, I got to go to practice, watch film, and do schoolwork. Cleveland acquired Watson from Houston for 3 first-round draft picks. Oh, traded Thompson Robinson as a fifth-round pick to get Pickett from Philadelphia. Right. And that's crazy. They were deconstructing the team around him, and Bill O'Brien was a terrible coach. Are y'all talking about Deshaun? It said Browns also traded second overall pick to Jacksonville for the fifth overall pick in 2026. Oh, you're talking about for Travis? First round pick, second round pick, and fourth round pick. What? Okay. Gracie is right 100% mismanagement from the Browns. Right. That would be the only reason they would trade Shedeur or mismanagement. That would be it because nobody trades their best quarterback. It said after Watson, they definitely colluded to make sure fully guaranteed contracts never happen again and doesn't become a trend. And see, we've been talking about this. What have we been saying? How can we get a fully guaranteed contract? That don't even make no sense. And now 30 other people have to sign their contracts because the people that happen to go to the teams that were involved in the Deshaun Watson situation got fully guaranteed contracts. That's another cover up. Those two in the second round appear to be cover ups for Deshaun Watson's contract. That's all that is. And they either knew it was going to always happen this year or something transpired. Because all I know is that in 2024, they changed the language in Deshaun Watson's contract and then they somehow restructured it. So this got something to do with Deshaun Watson. But the question has never been discussed. Why was he paid all that money after that? Not just paid well. Why was he reimbursed all of the money plus his legal fees that he paid out? And why, if he's healthy to play this year, are they willing to just collect the $46 million? So essentially, we not letting you play and we not paying you. Did they always know they was gonna do it like this? You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if insurance pays $46 million this year and he get traded and somebody else pays the $46 million next year, that means Cleveland only paid 46 times 3. So they didn't pay his whole contract, right? But this year, they're paying a fully guaranteed contract of about $11 million. And they get 46 back for the shot. So I think they might be getting ready to cut ties with Sean. Uh, I think they tied because see, as long as Deshaun is on an active roster and they gotta pay him. But the longer he in Cleveland, the longer people are going to talk about how the hell he get this contract. What really went down. The longer he is on an NFL roster, that's gonna be discussed. Good evening. So glad to catch your show. Thank you, Amber. It said, oh yeah, just remember, the Browns also acquired Amari Cooper from Dallas and sent him to Buffalo, and now he's in Pittsburgh. Journeyman. That's all they doing with these guys. Just making up journeymen. That's where Coach Prime said what he said years ago. Shedeur was in high school. They wanted you to think that that was recent. He said he likes what they're doing in Cleveland, but for a young QB, that is no place to go. And that's facts. They mishandled DTR. To put him in against Baltimore the first time they played Baltimore and he lose, but then they put in Deshaun and he win, and Deshaun was sitting right there healthy. It's like they didn't want to name a QB1, so they let all three black QBs rotate. That's why I know that's what they're gonna do this year. The only person they might not even name Flacco QB1. They just gonna treat him like he's QB1. Because currently he's third on the depth chart, but he's sharing a locker with Jerry Judy. Why you want him to share a locker with Kenny Pickett? Because you know that's not your starter. Why he don't share a locker with Shedeur? Because you don't want him to be your starter. The script is we're playing keep away with the QB1 position for Shedeur Sanders. That's the script. That was the script in the draft, and that's the script in Cleveland. This is how racialized labor markets, radicalized labor, is it radicalized? Yeah, radicalized labor markets operate. The first one being the slave market. Yep. That's why they have to keep saying don't feed too much into the QB raps because they already know what they're going to do. They going to put Flacco out there first. They might, I actually thought to myself, they're going to try to treat Shedeur like they did DTR. See, DTR actually was drafted in the fifth round, but I don't know what his talent level was. And I have not had the time to go look. We know Shedeur was not fifth round talent, is not fifth round talent. But what do we also know? We knew he was the best QB coming out of college. We knew he wasn't 144 talent. And now we know he the best QB they have. I think they're going to name him a QB. I think Flacco is the de facto QB1. Think they're gonna rotate the rest of them. And I think they're gonna treat Shedeur like DTR, which means they're gonna put him out there against Lamar and they think he gonna fail. Because that's how they treated their last fifth round quarterback. And they don't seem to be too bright. I'm just gonna go and put it out there. You know, the NFL wants to be so pretentious, like it's up here. But to be honest with you, the way they conduct business is highly unethical. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of collusion. There's a lot of racism. There's a lot of discrimination. Prejudice is just the attitude in the culture, right? They didn't want Shedeur changing the culture. So you were offended because he wants to change the culture of winning, and you thought he meant what? What did you think he meant when he said the culture? Fulfilling that they weren't thinking he meant what he said. He meant culture of winning. They was thinking something else. Prove me wrong. That's why he got such a icy reception. Even coming to change the culture of winning, and people know that they can win, that's not who gets held back. You holding him back because the culture you don't want him to change is that up until this draft, had it gone the way it should have, 16, 17, and 18, with Shedeur at 17, he would definitely be changing the culture for sure. Because it will be the first time in NFL history that black starting quarterbacks, the QB1s, are the majority. But they made sure that didn't happen. And they're going to do it in the regular season. They already know what they're going to do. They're going to put him out there in the preseason because that don't count. But see, that's where they're going to mess up. Because he's going to ball out just like he doing at practice. Mary Cabot already said it. Oh, I think we'll see a lot of Shedeur and Dylan during the preseason. But the regular season, see, they don't want to play him in the regular season. And if so, I think they're going to set him up like they did DTR. But they're going to get the surprise of their life. And it's crazy because all of the money they're making with him there, all for the number 12 jersey. Imagine if it was number 2, because people like me don't want the 12. I'm just patient to wait till he gets to the next team. Because I don't think Shedeur going to be there next year. I'm not sure if he's going to be there through the end of the damn season. Because one of the things they weaponize is instability. And what I mean by that is, right before the season starts, Hey, we're gonna make a trade for Shedeur to Dallas. But that gonna start, and Joe Milton is second. So Shedeur can be third and he can learn the playbook at the last minute. I can see that. I can see it. I'm just gonna be honest. They've been making asinine moves all the way through this thing. Pre-draft, the draft, post-draft, Cleveland. They never even had to draft the man at all. It was so simple to say thank you, but no thank you. So all I've seen is asinine, unethical, collusion, defamation, this, that, and the other. Nobody's been fired. Nobody's been held accountable for it. Davao should not have a job. I have no problem with saying it. Somebody may need to sue him personally. Maybe that's what somebody need to bring a civil suit against him personally. And maybe Coach Prime, you never know, is gearing up for a lawsuit because maybe he know they gonna cut Shedeur. I'm sure he found out Shedeur's phone number was sent out with waiver wires, which means another team can claim him off of waivers after they put him on waivers. If I know and y'all know, he know. Yeah, they thought the cameras and entourage were coming. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell they talking about. And they worried about when he go to the school, why does he have to record everything? Why you can't mind your damn business? That's one of your problems right there. See, when black people go off and do their own thing, here they come. What you doing? Why you worried about it? Mind your damn business. They're thinking about changing. They were thinking about changing the NFL. Right. See, when you running around colluding with people and y'all playing it around the bank, and somebody come up to you and say something, and y'all like, how you know what are you talking about? See, they was guilty because they had already planned to do this to him. And when he said, I want to change the culture, they know what the hell he talking about. They have no idea what the hell he talking about. He said, if you ain't trying to change the coaching and the culture, why the hell would New York be in their feelings about that? That basically let you off the hook, in my opinion. Watson's cap hit would be 80 plus million if he's cut before June 1st. Can he get cut after June 1st? I hope he balls out when they do stick him in. I think he will, Amber. I think have any doubt in it, but I also don't trust the O line. And now, as we get closer and closer to camp, which is still what less than 30 days, people are starting to bring that up. People are starting to talk about the O line more. People are starting to say how they feel like that's something that people need to be aware of, right? I mean, when you think about who rallies around Shedeur, all the vets, see, right? Like, see, drop it in the comments. What do you see? Well, see, we know who Denzel Ward is. We know who Njoko is. I don't know 83's name, but he Shador got that little 1-2 thing where they do like that. They got that 77, he looked like he was happy when Shador threw that ball to the guy that caught the pass like LaJonte did in the Baylor game. I just look and see, like on the golf course was the basket. You got to think about that. And you got to think about the O lineman, the only O lineman they asked about Shador. Why they ask him? Why you don't ask the new ones? And if you say the new O lineman don't know him, the old O lineman don't know him either because he just got them. So why they singling out Shador and asking certain people about Shador? Right? So to me, Stefanski's praise of Shador, if you will, is nothing more than lip service. Because either he don't have no problem and he ain't calling the shots, or he full of shit. Because he excluded him if he has any power. He's used his power to exclude Shedeur from what? First team reps that we can see. There's a discrepancy on if they ever really happen or not. Everybody say the ones are ready. They want to get down because they see the fours and the threes and the twos having all fun. They want to be down with it too. Miles Garrett came out and spoke on Shedeur. I have no idea why. I didn't hear him say nothing about Dylan. But apparently they must have asked him about Shedeur. I thought if he just stood there and started talking about Shedeur, keep singling out. What you think about Shedeur? You have any advice for Shedeur? Shedeur need that advice. Just like Coach Brian did. That man has won everywhere he has gone, just like his father. He came into the league. He is pro ready right now. Ready right now. Prove me wrong. They just don't want him to start. What people don't know is chances are that ain't Stefanski's call. And that's why he feels comfortable saying what he's saying because it has no effect. He's not the decision maker. Just like Mike Tomlin is not the decision maker. The best thing Cleveland could do is cut Shedeur. Then Shedeur could go wherever he wants to go. No, he can't. If Shedeur could go wherever he wanted to go, you would hear different teams. Oh yeah, we've seen Shedeur working out. Hell, the media would be asking Carolina, hey, I know y'all got Bryce, but y'all gotta open it. You know who got to open it on their depth chart? Uh Tennessee. They only got three QBs, I think. No, is it Seattle? Yeah, Seattle only got three QBs. They still got a fourth spot open. So you think they will be asking, yeah, y'all gonna get another quarterback? Because what y'all think about Shedeur? People say he might be traded. Like, do y'all run the same kind of offense? That's what you will be seeing. You don't hear another team saying nothing about Shedeur. There's something called a moratorium when you are prohibited from certain activities. There was a moratorium on him in the draft because we know, because they told us, right? Right? And we saw it play out. You're seeing it play out now. You just haven't gotten to the point where everybody's up in arms because they're not letting him take first team reps in training. People are saying, forget the first team reps. He need to be QB2 first day of training. You need to name a QB. See, they got away with not cutting anybody. They were supposed to be making the cuts. They were supposed to see Kenny Pickett, remember? That came and went, and Kenny's still on the roster. They thought Dillon was going to Indianapolis because they need somebody up there. Came and went. They're going to rotate every last one of them like they did in 23, and they're not going to name nobody to start. That's how they're going to get around keep away with QB1 for Shedeur. They know he cannot play a majority of the games. So they're going to let Pickett play. They're going to let Dillon play, and they don't give a damn about the outcome. They don't care about win, lose, or draw. I just got to push Shedeur out here so y'all can shut the hell up, and I'm not letting him play half the season. I might let him play one in the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end, and we don't give a damn whether we win or lose. That's what I think, because they did it already. So it said these organizations don't understand culture. They can't relate on the same level that Shedeur had in mind as it relates to culture and community. They are far away from the community. And Charlotte, you know that that's true? When he first went to that school up there, they didn't understand it. Well, why is he doing that? What you mean? Y'all don't do it. They didn't understand it. And then they wanted to know why it was being filmed. It's like they don't understand social media. It's like they don't believe that Black people know each other and stick together. See, at one time we all looked alike and all knew each other. They thought we all knew Oprah when she was popular, right? Now they don't want Shedeur to go up here and relate to these Black kids at the school. That's what they don't want. They think they're gonna keep him stuffed away because they've done it so many other times. They did it to DTR. And lucky for him, he up there with Jalen Hurts. So what's meant to hurt you is actually going to elevate you. The same thing happened to Malik Willis, and it happened to DTR, and Shedeur is next. See, the thing with Shedeur is that he is a QB1. He is ready to start. He is pro ready. He can start not just the preseason game. He can play in some capacity against that Bengals game. And I'll tell you why it will be good. He's Joe Burrow's his comp. He likes Joe Burrow. Shedeur is a person that is just fueled by things, not by the hatred, but the love of the game. And I get to play my idol, right? Well, not his idol. I get to play somebody that I look up to and like his style of play. And I think is like mine. Yeah. But I do think if they treat him like DTR, they're gonna try to set him up. See, they didn't let DTR play the first game. They let him play Baltimore. Why? And then Deshaun Watson come back and win Baltimore? You just didn't let Deshaun win because they didn't give a damn if they won or lost. And Flacco played 5 games, which meant he wasn't QB1 either. And since 3 quarterbacks rotated through 7 games, 7 times 5, that's 12, right? Then there's 13. Yeah, nobody was a QB1 that year. That's what they're going to do. That's the only way they're going to be able to play keep win. Okay, there you go, sister. Yup. It says Sky Skill, Shy Skill is in the news. They said regarding not drafting Shedeur. What happened? Oh, unless y'all talking. Oh, y'all talking about somebody in particular. Oh, okay, I see it. Apparently, Andrew Barrett spoke on a recent show stating that the best QB will play. The best QB will play. We will see. I don't believe nothing he says. He don't have no power either. He just comfortable being a puppet. He worse than Stefanski, in my opinion. Stefanski know he don't have no power. And if he do, he two-faced. Which one of them you really want to be? I'd rather just say I ain't got no power. They just making me do this. Because I'm not gonna sit up here and sell myself out. But that can help Stefanski get another job on a team like the Saints. Because that's how they get down too. He is a fifth rounder in name only. And now you can't even call him that no more because they're gonna jump down your throat. They realize it. That is not the reality. When the week ended on Friday with the facility coming out and saying they lied to us about Shedeur. Why did they lie to us about Shedeur? I heard that echo over the weekend. They're gonna be back on it on Monday. And then somebody else gonna pick it up. Right? What they doing is talking about can he win the starting job? He already won the damn starting job. He already better than Flacco. They just don't want him to start, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the specs that Shedeur is pro ready. Just they don't want to talk about that Deshaun Watson, after settling 22 or 26 civil lawsuits or 25, that the NFL paid him all his money back plus his legal fees. That he was reimbursed for his inconvenience. That he was never found guilty by 2 grand juries. That there wasn't enough evidence to kick him out the league. So why the hell he settled all the damn lawsuits? He had to. He had to. Remember, when this started, he only made $10 million a year. In order for him to get that guaranteed contract that they likely dangled in his face, he had to. He wasn't gonna never get his money. And that was gonna be the end of his career if he didn't. And then what he gonna have? 3 years making $10 million each, and knowing him, he'd have blew through it. Because he liked to fly private a lot. You just look at social media. Jerry looks bad to me with the Super Bowl players, Coach Troy Emmett, Jimmy, Michael, etc. They know Shedeur. Dak will not be playing much longer. Dak's case is curious to me. I can't figure out why they comfortable with saying that Dak is a developmental player after 9 years and $250 million. He the highest paid QB year over year because he makes 60 million, whereas everybody else is 50 some odd and whatever. But they okay with saying he a developmental player, and Jerry Jones went on the record saying they didn't get Shedeur because why? They don't need a quarterback. Because see, they went and got Joe Milton and brought him when he wasn't gonna play behind that. I was like, the black quarterback swap. And what did people propose about Detroit? One black quarterback for another. To trade Shedeur Sanders being the best QB in Cleveland for a fifth round pick who has not played more than 68 yards in 2 years is an insult to Shedeur. It's also further devaluing him. That's why when people look at Geno Smith and they think when he gets to the Raiders, he must not be starting. Because what did they trade him for? Nothing. A third round pick. What did they trade Travis to for Jacksonville to go? First pick, second pick, third pick. You see all of that up at the top. Value for value. But see, they devalue these black quarterbacks. And see, I think they want to try to treat Shedeur like Geno Smith, send him to horrible team to horrible team. So technically, if the Saints trash this year, Shedeur could find himself in New Orleans next year. But they say, I guess what's his name, the coach, the either the offensive coordinator or the head coach, somebody's son go to LSU, and they want to say that's for him. It's a lot of saving spots happening here. It's a lot of saving spots. So sick of NFL. Yeah, it is. Honestly, if it wasn't for Shador, I won't be watching. I already don't watch basketball. I'm probably gonna be watching NASCAR. That's what I'm gonna be watching next until they get on my nerves. Their actions go a long way in showing who they really are, right? When someone shows you who they are, believe them, right? So it's like some people watch to see who gonna fail, because that's all you can do. Like Daniel Jones in Indianapolis, if you ever see me looking at an Indianapolis game, it's gonna have to be against somebody like the Carolina Panthers. You know, look at how nice they treat Jimmy, but let's not forget they drafted him late too. LaShonte and Mike Up, they drafted him late too. Will Shepherd, undrafted free agent, but he did get with Tampa. But now, hopefully, you know, he's in Denver. But they drafted him late too. And Shador is the only quarterback that came out of college with all of his receivers associated with an NFL team. And they try to say he not good. Travis made him look good. So did Travis throw the ball to LeJounte? No. They just don't want to admit that Shedeur Sanders is pro ready right now. They don't want to admit it. So they're playing keep away with QB1. They don't want to admit he came to college pro ready. And it's not just him. They don't want to admit Bryce Young was pro ready, Caleb Williams was pro ready, and they both won the Heisman. They basically devaluing the Heisman. They can't deny Jada Daniels because he ended up with the right team. But guess what? Jada Daniels was predicted to be a bust because he was going to Washington, as if his skills couldn't help the team, as if he didn't have the right skill set to help them be a winning team. And there, what happened? They got there. Shador can do the exact same thing. They don't want it to happen. They would rather Joe Flacco play Joe Burrows, or Joe Flacco play Jared Goff, or Joe Flacco play who is it? The Rams, Matt Stafford. See, Matt Stafford and Jared Goff on the way out. I don't know why Matt Stafford got this $28 million contract and he on the way up. He almost 10 years in as a QB. If he probably longer than it. But see, that's the people they want to keep around. They shunning the talent that's gonna get them somewhere in favor of people they just care what they look like. They because it makes them feel comfortable to see Flacco versus Matt Stafford. Maybe it's a reminder of the good old days. I don't know. They don't want to see Cam versus Shador. They don't want to see Cam versus Jaden, or Shador hell versus Malik Willis. And that's what's coming up. You got out the gate 2 to 3 preseason games. Philadelphia and Carolina Panthers. The first 2 preseason games. Jalen Hurts versus could be Shedeur Sanders. Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young versus Shedeur Sanders. They're like, that's okay for the preseason. But when it comes time for the regular season, that's not what they want to see. They don't want to see Shedeur versus Lamar. They should. Because hell, they both good. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. What they want to put Flacco out there? Okay. They definitely don't want to see Shedeur versus Matt Stafford. They surely don't want to see Shedeur versus Burrow. Because if he win both of them games, oh, it's over with. It's over with. But they will put him out there, I do believe, with a team that they think he gonna lose to, and that ain't nobody but the Baltimore Ravens. So you might see him. The Giants have buyer's remorse for Jackson Dart. I love that for them because they lied on Shedeur, right? And I'm still waiting on that ball to be fired. Him and the QB coach. And I'm ready for them to up in and just push that organization off the map. Because somebody, whoever owns it, deserves to be forced into selling it and everybody fired. And they can sit out the next 5 drafts. Because honestly, all they're doing is ruining careers. People heard Saquon Barkley say, "Don't be surprised if I just up and retire," because they wasted his time in New York. They know what they're doing when they waste these guys' prime on the bench or devalue them. They know exactly what they're doing. But then they got Daniel Jones out here over and over and over and over and over. And then he gets another opportunity to compete. That's not happy. Anthony Richardson is hurt. I don't wish that on nobody. But Anthony Richardson, if anybody know him, just sit down and rest yourself. They wanted him to take your job. Let him play. And let's see what he can with. Just rest yourself. You still gonna get paid. Just don't even worry about it. That's what he did. That's you gotta go have to go thinking. See, they say Lamar Jackson didn't go to what is it, voluntary OTAs. Good. They robbed him of his third MVP. What the hell am I going in early for? To hell with that. And they robbed him of that Super Bowl too. I don't care what nobody say. Now that you see how they do Shedeur, just know that's what they did to Lamar. That's good. Football. I'm gonna start watching it. Yup. Wow, the politics of sports is ugly. Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly. Let's see. Angel Reese got her first career triple double. And before I went live, I got a notification saying they punished her after the game. Hey, see, this is why I don't watch that. This is why I don't watch that right now. Because see that right there? That's a mess. This is a mess, but somehow I don't know why that's worse. I don't know why the WNBA is worse. Maybe because they choosing one person, and in the NFL they just choosing white. I don't know what it is, but I can't even watch it because you know some foolishness is coming, and we might get there. We might get there by the time we get to training camp. We might. Lamar has been robbed of his rightful place in history. Hey, Lamar has been robbed of his third MVP. When it came time for free agency, did nobody want him? The same thing could happen to Shedeur if they put him on waivers. It's just a repeat of the draft. He just gonna sit there. I don't want that for him. And I think if they do that for him, it's gonna be a problem. But that's exactly what people say, cut him. That's what's gonna happen to him. If because they already planned to do that anyway. And they was gonna do exactly what they did in the draft. Nobody gonna need a quarterback. So, I think we now realize that it's very likely Kevin Stefanski is either selling us lip service if he truly has power, or he don't have no power, just like Mike Tomlin. And somebody up above his pay grade is making a decision to play keep away with QB1 with Shedeur Sanders, just like they did in the draft, but this time in Cleveland. So, that's what we are. That's what we are. It's 55 of us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope y'all had a good podcast because this was good. This needed to be talked about. It said, I prefer the Jets over the Giants. Yeah. The Jets already got two black quarterbacks and a black coach. And they already said he got to hurry up now, the coach and Justin Fields. That's why I'm like, can y'all just start your own league? I mean, I want them to know y'all making us suffer now. We got to suffer to support you through this madness. They're not going to give you nothing. And if they could get away with what they got away with Lamar and then did it again to Shedeur, but more extreme, and they already in cahoots with college to determine what quarterbacks are at the top, and none of them are black, um, they just gonna do the same thing next year. And I ain't gonna be there to watch that. I'll tell you that right now. I got better use of my time. I support these guys. They gonna have to make a decision. They gonna have to make a decision because you got 40 of them that didn't even sign their contracts yet, so they got a problem with the way things are being handled. And as much as they claim to love Travis, why he ain't signed his contract yet? They don't love him that much. He's a wide receiver. I I told you if he was a quarterback, he'd be going through the same damn thing that Miro and Shedeur. And y'all know they don't. I'm probably the only person talking about Jalen Miro. So yeah, we as the people need to wake up about our labor being exploited. Yep, that's facts. But I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I think they have too much power and they're not using it. That's what I think. I think the guys are the talent. And it's too easy to get out here and either start your own flag football league. And for the guys that retired already, it's too easy to start your own podcast or it's too easy to start streaming. Shout out to Joseph Williams, wide receiver from Colorado. He said, I set up my Twitch streaming. You see, they all need to be doing that. Y'all could be playing each other on Madden. What rule says you cannot? There's no rule anymore that says you can't monetize. So you can. I get it. That was the thing. So shout out to JoJo for getting his social media going. Shout out to Juju. He got his social media going. Kaden, but Kaden don't need to get that social media going. Like for real, like bro, I don't know what you thinking out here. I get it. You're talented, but we already see how they shun talent. Get your social media going. If you insist on fooling with these people, you're gonna need some social media. Cause either they're gonna force you down late, cause they're not gonna let you be number 17 or 18 or 19. Get your social media going, little bro. Like, just start Twitch and read some comments or something. It's too simple. They got too much power. And they just giving it away. And they don't get nothing in return. But let's see, colluded against, defame, lie on, devalue, right? Get your social media going. Use this year while you're at CU to get that up so you can have a brand. To hell with them. Telling you can't have a brand. Okay, well, if they give you guaranteed money, then they should be able to dictate to you whether or not you have a brand. But if you already have a brand before you leave college, how the hell they gonna tell you to get rid of it and they don't give you no guaranteed money? There are 40 people fighting, presumably over guarantees. They're not fighting in the NBA. They're not fighting in the in what's that in baseball. They just whittle away. It's like these guaranteed contracts. We gave one to Deshaun, but nobody else. Will Travis be paid for playing both ways? They said there was some kind of incentive for him to get $300,000 to $500,000 for him to play on both sides. But based on the quarterback he might want to just play cornerback. But it did say that there was an incentive. And if that's the case, and he still has his contract, maybe he got the same issue everybody else has. Start thinking ownership and equity, which gives you control over the value of your labor space. And that's what unrivaled basketball proves that players can get together and start their own league. The only caveat they had is that when they started this year, they have to have players that also played in the WNBA. And you know why the WNBA insisted on that? So they wouldn't get robbed of the best talent. Why? Because Unrivaled starts at six figures and they get equity on the first roster last year. So essentially, they all got equity and six figures. They got nothing in the WNBA. That's why if Angel's contract ends next year, she out. Oh, I bet money on that. If her contract was 3 years, and I don't really know, next year is her last year. She's out. And it's the moment that Unrivaled can break away from the WNBA, meaning they can go get players that do not play in the WNBA, like Tia Cooper and other people who get unfairly cut. Then they gonna be free. But they got financing, they have sponsors. It's a luxury brand. They set it up, they call them clubs. They don't just call them teams. So they gave it like a next level or a echelon type, categorization. It's not just basic, right? And see, my thing is, if the WNBA had real competition like Unrivaled, that Unrivaled could get whoever they want, the WNBA will fold. The only reason people watching it is racism. The fans that were already there, that's been watching it since the beginning, they still alive. They still fans since the Cynthia Cooper days. Them fans still fans. They don't appreciate them. They didn't bother to advertise to them. They only wanted to advertise where Caitlin Clark was concerned. They only wanted her to get the big endorsements and sponsorships, thinking that would bring the demographic that they so desire. They want straight white women to come watch black, white, queer women play basketball. That's what they want. You can hope for families. That's what you can hope for. You can hope for people with kids, who kids growing up playing basketball, and they like Angel, and they like Caitlin, and they like Dejanay, and all these other girls. That's what you can hope for. That's what you need to hope for. Because I don't know how the hell you gonna get people that don't even talk to people in their real life to want to come watch this. And that's why they devalue it and say we don't have a good product. They didn't even advertise to the LGBT community. And I live right here in Atlanta, and I never saw it. I'm in Midtown all the time. Even though they had a team for the first 2 years I was in this city, and I throw a rock at State Farm. They don't value their audience, but they want another audience. See, that's what's wrong with the NFL. The NFL got an audience. Why they don't want Shedeur Sanders fans? Because they don't want to be held accountable for how they treat the Shedeur Sanders. That's 3 million new fans, which fills up more than half your stadiums. Want that? Unrivaled is the future. It is of sports. It is. Unrivaled is the future. I heard that the big three, they hired as a coach. You know the guy from All the Smoke. You know why that's smart? Because people that follow All the Smoke go watch the guy from All the Smoke be a coach in the big three. But see, the big three messed up. They could have had Angel, but they went after Caitlin. So you don't really know what's going on out here. They really thought if they threw $5 or $10 million at her, that she would come and play for them. They didn't even off Angel. So they really thought it was about the money, but they found out it was about race. And that's his lesson to learn. So he should have known better. Do I think the Panthers will use Jimmy Horn on special teams and offense? Yeah, I think Jimmy gonna start. Marlon, I think Jimmy's gonna start. They said the Panthers organization's media is a Jimmy Horn Jr. highlight reel. They talking about this is the Jimmy Horn highlight reel. It is. They like him. They really like him. Wish they would have paid him like they liked him, but he ain't complaining. So I wonder if the number two was held from Shedeur. Of course it was. Because they didn't want him to continue his brand. No, they wanted him. I mean, yeah, that, but they can't stop that. I don't care. The number two belongs to Colorado. Let's be real. Shedeur has fans outside of that that's probably going to show up at NFL games with a Colorado 2 jersey on, because that's what I would do. They did that to rub it in his face that a fifth round draft pick doesn't get to choose his jersey. So they were trying to make him feel the sting of being a low draft pick. They tried to put him in his place. That this is where we want you to be, not where you belong. You're not that good. They try to break him down. It's the politics of control, and the power structure doesn't want to change. Right. So when he said he wanted to change the culture, they heard something else. And the reason why they heard something else is because they was already planning to do something else. See, they were already trying to stop progress. So when he said he wanted to change the culture, they got offended. The very thing that they trying to stop, they thought he wanted to change. He was talking about winning. So what did they do? Set him up to be like, you not that good. So you don't have the power to change nothing because you a lowly fifth round draft pick. But again, you didn't have to draft him at all. I would love somebody to answer that question. I would love the media who's now on the same page that we've been on. They lied. Why did the NFL lie to us about Shedeur? Why did they lie to us and tell us he was this, that, and the other? You know what the question I want them to ask? If y'all didn't think he was good, why did you draft him? Instead of devaluing him and paying him less money. Why didn't you just say thank you, but no thank you? And then ask, since y'all took him off the board, how was it decided that Cleveland got a chance to draft him and nobody else could? And why is nobody making a trade for the best quarterback out here? But then when Bryce Young was benched by the Panthers, everybody wanted him. A moratorium. Why is there a moratorium against Shedeur Sanders being drafted in the first round or traded out of Cleveland? You on top of everything. You people much game. To me, it's obvious because when you sit down and you look at the way they have treated going all the way back to Briscoe, they told that man, we don't want you to be our quarterback. He was the best one they had, like Shedeur. It's not new for them. But thank you, Political Lil. Horn and Wester will be return specialists. Harbaugh was working one-on-one with Wester. I think they both gonna be take receiver snaps, to be honest. Wester is second on the depth chart as a wideout. Jimmy is third. But they love Jimmy. I'm like, okay, I think when he come back with this after, because they say we're gonna rehab him. So they feel like there's something that they could do with his rehabilitation that probably maybe they couldn't do at CU. And it's possible, right? You know, I don't know how that works. But they're like, yep, we just gonna rehab him. They not letting him go nowhere. Because, you know, but the things that they said about Jimmy were things that we already knew about Jimmy. So I side on Carolina a little bit too. I feel like they devalued our guys intentionally. Please trade Shedeur. Cleveland is a mess. Show Coach Prime knows it. And it's the, yeah, I think everybody knows. I think everybody knows Cleveland is playing around. But see, you know, with people saying the NFL lied, want to see how far that narrative goes next week. See, I told you when people bring up stuff late on Fridays or on Fridays, they don't expect you to talk about it no more. Because I brought it up on the Friday and we're not live on Saturday and Sunday. So let's see if they come back on Monday. And let's see if the narrative is discussed in other places. Other podcasters are discussing what they discuss. But are they gonna continue the conversation? Are they gonna stop saying things like if given the what did they say? Somebody said today, uh Shedeur can be really good. I was like, Shedeur really, really good. He's pro ready. Let me hear somebody on one of those desks say, you know what, he's already pro ready out of CU. So people saying trade it, but somebody gotta want to take it. Remember, when Lamar Jackson went up for free agency, 32 teams colluded against him. You saw 32 teams collude against Shedeur. You're going to see 32 teams collude against him if they put him on waivers. Understand that. And you don't want to see that. So he leave him where he is and let them expose themselves in a regular season when they try to bury him and not let him play. All right, we're going to get ourselves out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 when we take a look at what the morning news was about. Anxious to see. Are they going to talk about the same narrative on Friday, saying that why did they lie to us about Shedeur? It's obvious that people lied to us about his skill set. For the media, who I say is the right hand of the NFL, to say something like that, I find that very interesting. I find that very interesting, especially coming from Emmanuel Acho, because Emmanuel Acho antagonized Deion Sanders Jr. before the draft, asking him, does he think Dart is going to be the number 2 pick? And what did Dart end up being? The number 2 pick. And Chase, also from the same show, said what? I think Dart is going to sneak into the first round. Why? So both of them already knew, and now they both sitting on the desk, fake upset, fake outraged that people lied about Shedeur. Emmanuel Acho act like his feelings hurt that somebody lied to him about Shedeur. Do you not want me to go back and look at the fact that you were the one that antagonized Deion Sanders Jr. about Jackson Dart being the number 2 pick and Jackson Dart is the number 2 quarterback? So why are you mad that you repeated that? Why is Chase mad? Because Dart snuck into the first round, like he said. And what did I say? Well, damn, Chase. If he got to sneak into the first round, that means he ain't good. They knew he wasn't good. They did not care. They did not. As long as it wasn't Shedeur. And then they didn't expect to end up with Russ. And when they did, they thought they was gonna trade Russ. See, they thought Russ was gonna be gone. See, they thought, oh, we got Dart. We ain't get Shedeur. See, they lied. They just wanted Dart. That old Miss connection to the New York Giants at the QB position. That's all they wanted to satisfy. And they've been talking about it because why? The GM son, the night before the draft, posted Dart's highlights and closed his account. And the daughter, when Dart got his daughter that go to Ole Miss, with Jackson Dart already had a heartfelt message pinned to Dart. You think they was gonna draft Shedeur with all that shit happening? Oh, she didn't write that day. It was already written because they knew. So did Chase Daniels and so did Emmanuel Acho. So I find it very interesting that outside of Shady and James, those two are acting like somebody lied to them. They knew who the hell Dart was. Shit, I knew who the hell Dart was. Ed Reed, good for leading a new team. Why wasn't they watching him in Colorado? Right. Because what the hell did your scouts do? Still no excuse for the Giants to drag Shedeur's name through the mud. None at all. That's unethical. That's about the way you do business. That is highly unethical. Jackson Dart is 5 years from being ready for a start. They say he already reached his ceiling at Ole Miss. Yeah, it's too much for me. We got to give them the target treatment. You know what's so funny about that? It could happen. It could happen. It could happen. Ole Miss, just the good old boys. Right, right. I told you I ran into some Ole Miss folks out of Atlanta. I was like, yep. So that's it for tonight, guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:30. So I'll have a chance to try to digest some of the foolishness that they're gonna talk about tomorrow. But you heard it here first. If they don't cut nobody, it's because they already know they gonna rotate everybody, and they could very well cut Shedeur at the last minute. But he could play preseason, like Mary Cabot said. Even she could be lying too. But maybe not the regular season. But they gonna rotate those guys because they know they should have made a cut by now if they were sending somebody packing, and they don't want to. They don't want to keep Shedeur and cut Pickett or Dylan. So all right, y'all. So that's it for tonight. This was good. This is always good. We always have excellent, excellent conversation. Hit the like button on the way out for me. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. When y'all see Angel Reese videos and podcasts, y'all show her some love because the same vitriol that Angel Reese gets is the same vitriol that Shedeur Sanders gets. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'm going to let Alabama State take us out tonight. All right. Thank you. Thank you for everything.